Next, it's Lewis, and Lewis is going to tell us why we still need a minister for men. The topic of much conversation this week, I think it's safe to be said. Oakley is outraged.
Yes, there has been a lot of distraction this week from a very simple and important question. Do we need a minister for men? Now, I passionately agree, yes, we do. In fact, I think it's quite toxic to look at all of the issues facing men and say that it doesn't matter. And I think that, you know, a lot of the pushback against this comes from thinking of men from a bygone era, or the top 1% of men. That's not representative of all men. The statistics are alarming. Suicide is the biggest killer of men under 50. 75% of suicides are by men. Education, also terrible statistics for how men are coming out of education. Men are also more likely to live at home, and 1 in 3 men say that they have no friends. Issues facing men, such as fatherlessness, or the fact that in our modern society there really aren't that many positive role models for men that people can really look up to. We then get annoyed when people like Andrew Tate fill that void. And I really think that, you know, we need to have happy and prosperous men in our country. It is good for men, it is good for women, it is good for the society as a whole. And lost in this debate as well, it's good for minority men, gay men, bi men, black men, Asian men. It is what we need. So I think it is high time that we have a minister that champions men's causes and takes this issue seriously. Diane, let's get straight to a woman. What do you think?
Well, I get what you are saying, and I think a lot of it has a lot of merit, but I do take issue with your point, sir, that there are no positive role models.
Who?
Do we not have... Lewis Hamilton, for one.
Lewis Hamilton, Darren.
No.
I did a monologue about Lewis Hamilton not that long ago, saying that he was a hypocrite.
Hypocritical green idiot. I was going to say something else there.
He is a good role model for young black men, and my goodness, we need them.
Yeah, because of him, like, there are way more young black men who are going into racing, and he has fought against discrimination every step of the way. He's also fabulous in his fashion, and he does music on the side. So, okay, but there are lots of male role models that I think that we can look up to, but what it is that the Andrew Tates go for that sort of toxic predatory element, and sort of the hustlers university, you can take a shortcut to the top, and that's what's appealing to people. And I do dispute the fact that there are no wonderful male... I mean, OK, Tom Daley. Do we like Tom Daley on this panel? Do we like Benedict Cumberbatch? Do we like that bloke who played Bond, blue eyes, what's his name? Daniel
Craig.
Daniel Craig. He's wondrous. Come on, there are
but
Darren, brilliant
you tell me, and maybe it's the LGBT thing, but I just don't see that there are a lot of men in our society that I'm like, yeah, I want to be like them. And as someone that's raising 2 boys, I do look at the society, I'm like, you know, you're talking a good game, and obviously a lot on the progressive side, which is important. But at the same time, I don't think you're talking to personal responsibility and those kind of issues that, and also how to talk as well, and talk about your feelings, because they say, oh, men need to talk, men need to talk, but a lot of men don't want to talk. What do you feel?
Well, look, I mean, you know, I'm going to sound like a God botherer right now, actually, but I think there's a God-shaped hole in young men's lives where actually a belief in a divine maker or going to hell actually was a pretty strong deterrent from getting up to no good. These days, we look to people like Andrew Tate to fill the void, and I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's good for society. So what else is going to be put there to actually ensure that young men are not getting involved in a life of either crime or drugs or alcoholism, whatever it might be, benefits even. A life like that is not a life well lived.
A minister for men, that's what's going to be there. What did you think? Do you think there's a God-shaped hole?
I don't know if minister for men is what we need, but I do think that we need to be hearing more from politicians, role models, people in various industries, talking about the issues that affect men, and men only, because they do exist. There are issues that only impact men, and I don't like it when women scoff at that, because it is true. We always talk about women's issues. Why not men's issues? And I think, as you said, when it comes to education, It is sad that a lot of more boys than girls, are leaving school without any qualifications. Not any achievements, but without qualifications. It is terrifying. Well, it's appalling that so many men are sadly taking their own lives at such a young age. These are men's issues, and I don't know whether men need to talk more about their feelings. I don't know if men need help when it comes to career advice or what men need, because I'm a woman, right? And I think if men have spaces, and there are some politicians who are talking about this, Ben Bradley's one, but I think men do need specific conversations about their issues, and they shouldn't be ashamed of it.
I do think men need specific conversations about their issues, and I have argued in favour of a Minister for Men before, but only really because we have a Minister for Women and Equalities. And I suppose the question is how much has the Minister for Women and Equalities actually done for women, and how much has it actually been societal change that has changed the situation for feminism and women in Britain? And therefore, how much would a Minister for Men actually do when it's society that needs to change? And that's going to come from people, not politicians.
And Albie does. So I'm so sorry.
No, you go for it.
Well, Albie makes a brilliant point, because a minister is not cool. Like, nobody wants to be like a minister.
Yeah. No one's saying that he has to be the one on the back of a motorcycle, like being cool or anything like that.
Being a minister should be cool.
Maybe we could get Daniel Craig to be the Minister for Men. Then it would be cool. He'd have sex appeal. He'd have that godly-like thing that Darren wants, and he would be someone that we all wanted to look up to and follow.
Okay,
Lewis, just very briefly come back to that.
Daniel Craig is
not the Daniel Craig.
I think a Minister for Men will work, because it will, someone will be there at the helm of government. It's also about the government showing that they take that issue seriously, and it's not just a joke to the side. A minister will be there, held accountable. We'll have them on when we need to talk to them, and they should be there in the background, inspiring men, really looking at this. I can't believe there's no one in government looking at it.
And the suicide stats that you raised there, Lewis, are really, really quite awful.